now my senses and hear the earth call. Feel the deep power of being in all. Keep with the web of creation your vow. Giving, receiving, as love shows us how. Wake now my reason, reach out to the new. Join with each pilgrim who quests for the true. Honor the beauty and wisdom of time. Suffer thy limit and praise the sublime. Wake now, compassion, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the wide sky. Take us, your neighbor, both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now my conscience, with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race. Wake now my vision of ministry clear. Brighten my pathway with radiance here. Mingle my calling with all who will share. Work toward a planet transformed by our care.
Welcome, everyone. I don't know that there's any way that I can properly express my gratitude for all of you gathering here together today. I'm blessed in many, many ways. So welcome to all of you for this most special occasion in my life. I think we all wish we were able to be together in physical 3 dimensions. And yet I am so incredibly grateful that we have this opportunity to gather. Because we're gathering in a virtual world, there are a couple of housekeeping details that I just wanted to give a heads up on. There is a chat feature, but we're asking that you not really engage with that during the continuation of the service. Everyone will be muted until the end of the service, and we will have a virtual reception room. You're all invited to stay and say hello. And last but not least, we are in a virtual realm, and as we all know, technology does some interesting things at times. We have some excellent tech people here, but if things go awry, just roll with it. That's the world we're living in right now. So now I invite us all to enter into this joyous and sacred time together as my colleague, Reverend Sage Olnick, lights the chalice.
As we light this chalice, or you light yours at home, I begin to understand calling more fully. It has little to do with ministry itself and everything to do with the sacred. It's not about serving a particular denomination or even congregation, but being in the world who we were called to be. Like standing on the stage of the universe and saying yes to God alone, and not a particular mountain range or river. And after that, what possibly can go wrong?
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, 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 Spirit draw near.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an incredible joy to be with you this afternoon as we formally welcome Cindy Terlazzo into Unitarian Universalist ministry. Cindy has been a minister for a long time now. She's gone through the formal training and credentialing process to be granted ministerial fellowship in our denomination. The only step left is to give her the formal title of Reverend. And that's where you all come in, the beloved members of the Unitarian Universalist congregation of York, where Cindy has been an active member and leader for many years, and you at the Unitarian Universalists of the Cumberland Valley, where Cindy has served as a ministerial intern. It's a tradition in both the Unitarian and the Universalist branches of our denomination for congregations to grant the title of Reverend to Unitarian Universalist clergy through the ritual of ordination. This tradition dates back almost 400 years when our strong-minded Puritan ancestors refused to accept any outside authority over the governance of their churches. Each congregation, being an individual church standing on its own, insisted on having the right to decide who its minister should be, rather than being sent a minister by some authority far away. In the early days of our faith tradition, if a minister ordained by the church where they served accepted a position at a different church, they'd have to be ordained all over again by their new church. Nowadays, though, Unitarian Universalist ministers only have to be ordained once. And the two congregations that are ordaining Cindy today do so in the knowledge that she may go on to serve any congregation and will represent the denomination as a whole. In the Christian tradition, ordination was and is a sacrament. It elevates the person to a level above the level of a lay person. As a person achieves different levels from priest to bishop and beyond, they become more and more removed from the ordinary folk at the bottom of the hierarchy. Not so in Unitarian Universalism. We do not have a hierarchy of clergy. Reverend is as high as it gets. And we ministers serve both in covenant and in shared ministry wherever we go. And while Cindy is the person being ordained today, the ordination is not just about her. Ordination is not a one-person graduation ceremony. It is about the two congregations that are ordaining her today. It represents not just the transformation of the person being ordained, but the transformation of the congregations themselves into a priestly role. The congregation here in York nurtured Cindy spiritually, gave her a spiritual home, encouraged her to heed a call to ministry, provided her with a safe space to grow and develop, supported her throughout her process of learning and discernment. And the Unitarian Universalists of the Cumberland Valley gave Cindy the opportunity to spread her wings as a minister, to step into the shoes of ministerial authority, a place in which to do ministry that was different from the familiar confines of her home church. Today, as we lift up Cindy's many accomplishments and achievements, we also celebrate the layers of relationship and commitment to service, and the energy from beyond that calls all of us as members of the beloved community to minister to one another and to the wider world. As we clergy formally welcome Cindy into UU ministry today, we also bid welcome to these two congregations who have been transformed, for they represent the embodiment of our denomination. Ordination means not only that Cindy has been formally welcomed into UU ministry, it means that these two congregations, to borrow a term from the Christian tradition, have been welcomed into the priesthood of all believers. Welcome one and all, and congratulations, Cindy Terlazzo, and these two wonderful congregations.
Cindy, today you rejoin the association part of our Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations in a new way. A congregation is a motley thing, a turbulent body of people that for some reason or another, following some spark, pointing together at some star, have come together for the purpose of doing good, of making this journey of living one of meaning and hope rather than one of despair and pain. One congregation is an expression of a group's hopes for wholeness. And 200 of these congregations make up a UU region chock full of people's hopes for wholeness. And 1,000 of these congregations make up a vast American nation of groups of UU people who are hoping and working for wholeness and goodness in the world, but in big ways and small ones. This network of congregation forms the structure of our faith like a house is made out of beams. It will hold you. It will teach you. Not for nothing, it will employ you. Occasionally, it will break your heart. But mostly, this framework of congregations will help you amplify and enact your own hopes for the world's wholeness and goodness. That work cannot be done well alone. Never forget the shining web of Unitarian Universalism that surrounds you all the time. You, in turn, now in a way deeper than before, you make us stronger and better and wider and more interesting and more skilled and filled with more promise and more hope for bringing the beloved community more completely to this earth. Blessings on your ministry from the Central East region and the Unitarian Universalist Association. Cindy Terlazzo.
Love will guide us. Peace has dried us. Hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from free to giving, love will guide us through the hard life. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep inside you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us. Peace has tried us. Hope inside us will lead the way. On the road from greed to giving, love will guide us through the hard life. Love will guide us through the hard night.
If I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship, that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a woman, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am known. And now these three remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. 1 Corinthians 13.
Hearken to these words of Martin Luther King. I am convinced that love is the most durable power in the world. It is not an expression of impractical idealism, but of practical realism. Far from being the pious injunction of a utopian dreamer, love is an absolute necessity for the survival of our civilization. To return hate for hate does nothing but intensify the existence of evil in the universe. Someone must have sense enough and morality enough to cut off the chain of hate and evil, and this can only be done with love. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. Hate is just as injurious to the hater as it is to the hated. Like an unchecked cancer, hate corrodes the personality and eats away its vital unity. Many of our inner conflicts are rooted in hate. This is why psychiatrists say, love or perish. Hate is too great a burden to bear. I want to tell you today that it is not enough for us to talk about love. Love is one of the pivotal points of the Christian faith. There is another side called justice, and justice is really love in action. Justice is love correcting that which revolts against love.
So let's be humbled and empowered by the words of our beloved Reverend Dr. William Barber. America, he says, America has a heart problem. We need an army of moral defibrillators to shock the heart of our nation. Some issues are not left versus right or liberal versus conservative. They are right versus wrong. We must shock this nation with the power of love. We must shock this nation with the power of mercy. We must shock this nation and fight for justice for all. We can't give up on the heart of our democracy, not now and not ever.
It has been said that the congregation owns the office of ministry and the minister animates it. As we heard from Reverend Terry, it is certainly the congregation that can ordain, but it is the individual who, in answering the call, takes out the loans, attends seminary, clinical pastoral education, serves an internship, taking years, in my case 11, in Cindy's 10 years, to become a minister in final fellowship. Many ministerial candidates work full-time jobs, parent, keep a household going, tend elderly parents, all at the same time that they are accomplishing the requirements for ministry. And for those who ultimately retire from active ministry, the reality is that many have to continue working to keep insurance or income for living expenses. In 1988, the Living Tradition Fund was established to offer relief in the form of loan repayment, retirement assistance, financial relief for ministers in distress. And that fund for your ministers is filled by you and me, by all of us, lay members and clergy alike, at times such as this: ordinations, installations, celebrations of the role of professional ministry, not only in our world, but in our personal lives. I ask you to think of the fiscally responsible seminarian who will incur a $40,000 to $90,000 debt load to prepare to serve our movement. Or think of the 80-year-old minister who worked until 5 years ago and is now caring for a frail spouse, and his monthly UUA retirement check is $50. My check for $100 is already made out to the Living Tradition Fund. Cindy asks that we contribute to this fund today. Consider matching my gift. Know that you can write an old-fashioned check and mail it to the UUA at the address on your screen. Or you can give online, or you can donate by phone. But I ask that in any case, you indicate that your gift is in honor of Cindy Terlazzo's ordination. This service of Cindy Terlazzo lifts up our mandate to actively and radically love the world. Listen to the words from our processional hymn. Wake now my conscience with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race. As Doctors King and Barber have exhorted us, make your love active now, in this moment, in support of your Unitarian Universalist ministry. And thank you for your generous gift.
I said, Julian, you are holding my hand, and Julian, you are holding my hand. And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about sorrow? And Julian, do you not know about pain? I said, Julian, do you not know about hunger? And Julian, do you not know? Do you not know about shame? And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know? Do you not know about loneliness? And Julian, do you not know? Do you not know about disease? I said, Julian, do you not know? Do you not know about cruelty? I said, Julian, it's too much. It's brought me to my knees. And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, no one does not know about sorrow, and no one does not know about pain. She said, no one does not know about hunger, and no one does not know about shame. But she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, no one does not know about loneliness, and no one does not know about disease. She said, no one does not know about cruelty. She said, I know it's too much. It brought me to my knees, where I heard, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand, and Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, baby girl, do you not know about tenderness? And baby girl, do you not know about friends? She said, baby girl, do you not know about the Spirit? She said, baby girl, do you not know it's only love that never ends? And that's why all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. Yeah, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Beloveds, will you enter with me into a time of prayer or meditation? In this moment of prayerful pause, I invite us to take a moment to center ourselves more fully. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Take a moment to notice your body in this moment, to ground yourself more fully. And if it feels okay to you, perhaps put a hand on heart center. Is there anything that you need to incline yourself to loosen or let go around, that you might be more fully present to this holy moment? Spirit of life, Spirit of justice, Spirit of many names and beyond all names, open our minds, open our hearts, open our spirit to this moment that is finally here. May we emerge from this ordination service more connected to our deepest selves, more connected to one another, more connected to our living tradition, more connected to all that is sacred in this time and place. May we emerge from this ordination more connected to spiritual growth, more committed to building a diverse, beloved community, more committed to acting for peace and justice. Together, may we collaborate and conspire for collective liberation in which we all get free. Together, may we turn dreams into deeds. Together, may we build the world we dream about, a world of peace, of liberty and justice, not merely for some, but truly for all. In that spirit, on this day and in the days to come, may our deepest blessings be on Cindy, on her ordination, and her ministry to come. Amen. Ashe, and blessed be.
I first met Cindy at a lunch organized by our local chapter for seminarians to get together with area ministers. I think the idea was that we ministers were supposed to share our wisdom with our budding new colleagues. It turns out I did not have that much to share that day. Cindy, in her beautiful, soothing spirit, asked, how do we as ministers find hope and offer it to the people we serve? I think I must have been in some kind of mood that day, because my response was that I didn't really think that hope was what we were supposed to be finding. I had some theory about how we had to do the work even if we didn't know that it would end up well, and that hope was the provenance of privilege, and some people had to keep going even without hope. This was, of course, nonsense. And it says something about Cindy's essentially giving nature and her ability to see the best in people, that she still wanted to work with me after hearing that answer. So here's what I should have said. The question is not, where do we find hope? The question is, how do we make it? Because hope is not a noun, it's a verb. And it's something that we have a choice to make every day. The question is not, how do we in our wisdom chase out some hope that is out there and bring it back to our congregations? The question is, how do we get up every single day in the face of pain and fear and choose to make hope? This is not an easy question to answer. The world is out to prove to us that this is a fool's errand. Even before we were all stuck in our little Zoom windows because of the pandemic, the ills of the world feel overwhelming. It need not search to find something that is going wrong. Cynics have an excellent argument that they are not being cynical, they are being realistic. The fact that the world is difficult is not hard to prove. The idea that we could do something about it is a difficult one to hold on to. So how do we wake up every morning and choose to make hope? Because just waking up is an act of hope. Getting out of our beds, seeing other people, taking the risk of loving people and loving this world is an act of hope. It takes a great deal of courage, and sometimes that courage is very hard to find. The Sufi mystic poet Rumi says, "There is a secret medicine given only to those who hurt so hard they cannot hope. Look as long as you can at someone you love. Look as long as you can at someone you love." When we look at the people we love, we are reminded that if someone so beautiful exists in this world, there must be as much love in it as pain. When we look at the people we love, we are reminded that we are fighting for them, that this world must be beautiful because they deserve a beautiful world. When we look at a person we love, we are reminded that we are not fighting alone, that we have someone standing hand in hand with us. And if that is true, if we have companions on this journey, how could there not be hope in the world? Look as long as you can at the friend that you love. Love is the only thing that is going to keep us getting up in the mornings. It is the only thing that is going to keep us reaching out, of taking the risk of caring about fragile human beings, about a world that seems in so much need of fixing and love. Love is the only thing that will make us reach out, make us sign up, make us march and protest and call our senators and get our butts into the street. Guilt will not do it. Duty will not do it. Some theory of how the world is supposed to be will not do it. And friends, I hate to tell you this, but being right will not do it either. Our conviction that we are right is not what will change the world. Only love will get our butts out there. Only the love of someone looking at us as we look at them will carry us through this very, very hard night. And so I would say, look as long as you can at someone you love. One of the gifts of this wild world we live in is that when we come together in community, we get to look at each other's faces instead of looking at the back of each other's heads. So in this moment, surrounded by all of these people who love you so much, and because of that, love the world, look as long as you can at a friend that you love. Look as long as you can at a person that you love. Look as long as you can at the world that you love, and then go out and fight for it. And that is where we will find hope, only because we loved. May it be so. Amen.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion the stories of our living brings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. And the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
What a remarkable day. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to participate in today's ceremony as chair of the UUCY board. I have known Cindy and her husband John since my wife and I began attending UUCY more than 15 years ago. We see them regularly in downtown York at vigils and protests and dining out or shopping on First Friday. We know Cindy to be someone who truly lives her faith every day. So it was not surprising when we heard that she was pursuing this new chapter in her life. Cindy, you have been an engaged lay leader at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of York for many years. It was here that you first heard your call to ministry and began your journey toward answering that call. Over the past 2 years, you deepened that call during your internship with the Unitarian Universalists of the Cumberland Valley. In our living tradition, the authority to confer ordination lies entirely with our congregations. On this day, we have the honor and the responsibility of adding another minister to the lineage of clergy that reaches back far into time and which will extend far into the future. We confer a sacred charge upon our ministers, entrusting them with the lifelong task of ministry. The act of ordination bestows the authority of religious leadership, the title of reverend, and the privilege to wear a stole. The members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of York and the Unitarian Universalists of the Cumberland Valley have gathered here today to ordain you, Cindy Terlazzo.
Cindy, your internship at UUCV was a blessing to our entire congregation. You slid right into our midst as if you had always been there. We miss your warm presence, your thoughtful sermons, and the aura of peace and joy that seems to surround you. I can't thank you enough for the gentle wisdom and guidance you provided to our board, and especially to me, then board president, during Reverend Aya's maternity leave. Thank you, Cindy. Cindy, we offer you ordination, an act that celebrates the relationship between you and the two congregations that have been instrumental in the formation of your ministry. Among us and wherever you may serve, we would have you use your voice to speak the word of truth in freedom and in love, to work for justice and peace, to bring your comforting presence, to minister to those in need, and to set by your example how to live the principles of our free faith. Are you ready to embark formally and fully into this ministry?
I am.
Good. The Ministerial Fellowship Committee of the Unitarian Universalist Association welcomed you into preliminary fellowship in affirmation of your preparedness for ministry. It is our privilege and delight to ordain you. I invite the members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of York and the Unitarian Universalists of the Cumberland Valley to rise in spirit and join together in reciting the words of ordination that are on the screen now. We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of York and the Unitarian Universalists of the Cumberland Valley, joyfully ordain you, the Reverend Cindy Terlazzo, to the ministry of our covenant tradition. May you minister with your whole self, heart, body, mind, and spirit. May you always speak the truth as you know it, demonstrating humility, curiosity, and courage. May you minister with love, justice, and compassion. Be a witness to the living tradition of our faith and be faithful in service to the healing of the world.
With great joy, humility, and gratitude, I accept this ministry into which you ordain me. I promise to minister in the ways of hope, love, and peace. I promise to speak truth, spirit of love, to serve with compassion, and to seek justice in all that I do.
I invite everyone, family, friends, colleagues, and all who are gathered here today to rise in spirit, to join in affirming this act of ordination with the words that are on the screen. Together, we recognize and affirm you, Reverend Cindy Terlazzo, as an ordained minister. May your ministry be a source of inspiration, strength, and love. We pledge our support to you today and for all the days to come.
There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There is a love holding all my rest. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding us. We rest in this love.
Amen. Let us rest in this love indeed. And let us just take a few moments to consider the significance of the stole. All of us, Reverend Cindy and all those gathered. The stole has a long history within and beyond Unitarian Universalism. And while its exact ancestry is a bit of a mystery, we can surely all agree and recognize that it is an outward and visible sign of the ordination process It's also a symbol of the minister's commitment to Unitarian Universalism and the commitment that we, ministers and members, make to the minister. It symbolizes being called to take on the mantle of spiritual leader with all the duties and responsibilities it requires to be in relationship with other ordained ministers, the congregations, communities, and the world we serve.
I am Rita Van Wyck, and I am the person who was honored to be selected by the committee to create the ordination stole. On behalf of UUCY and UUCV, I made this with love and respect. Ever since I first met you, Cindy, I have been impressed by your emotional depth, your emotional intelligence, spiritual depth, and really knocked out and baffled by your inner wisdom. And I thought that that was something so very special about you, and yet so very basic. So I wanted to say everything, and I wanted to say very little. And I feel that your inner wisdom is that wonderful quality you will bring to the ministry. I've actually kind of suspected that you might be the incarnation of Minerva, and that under your mop of hair, you harbor a little owl sitting there near your right ear, speaking words of wisdom. Whatever the source is, you are a wise and wonderful person. You know that human beings have wishes and hopes and dreams and expectations, and reality doesn't always dish up what we order. You know, you are wise enough to know you can stand back and you can change your perspective. But even more importantly, you have that gift to inspire others to do the same. Ever since I met you, no matter how trivial the conversation was, I've always come to some new insight after talking to you. You've been a doumani to me, and doumani means something like rabbi or guru, primarily teacher, spiritual leader. You're going to be fabulous. So I tried to make something very, very simple and very complicated. I want to end by quoting one of your lines from one of your sermons. I believe that we need to be willing to immerse ourselves in the allness of our lives. I wish I were there to hang this stole on your shoulders and hug you, but my good friend John will stand in for me. Thank you.
My dear Reverend Cindy, here we are. After all your steady, slow, hard work managed while you continued your life, working, raising your family, maintaining your marriage with John, here we are. You are ordained. You have promised to speak the truth in a spirit of love, to serve with compassion, and to seek justice in all that you do. You've already made really big promises, and I'm supposed to charge you with more or something. So I will tell you what everyone says in the charge to the ministry. And what if you are like I was in this moment? You will think you don't need to be told. But it's always in the charge of to the minister, because we need to be told it over and over again. It's harder than you think. Keep up with your spiritual practice. Take care of yourself. Love yourself as much as you love other people, my dear. Stay connected to John and your family and those beautiful grandchildren. Take care of them and let them take care of you. Your family remembers that you are human, and they love you for being human, for being you in all your human imperfection. So be you. Remember that love, justice, and compassion are for you also. And don't forget your friends and your colleagues who also want to love and care for you. So yes, spiritual practice keeps you connected, keeps you grounded in what's important. And there are so many distracting things in ministry. You need to do your best to keep it up. I know that you have, but I'm telling you, in ministry, it can be hard. Spiritual practice can help you when you grieve, when you have to let things go, when you're mad at the congregation for whatever reason, but also when you are filled with joy. Remember your joy and your pleasure. Cindy, you have such a lovely laugh. Don't forget to share your laughter and your pleasure with the world. You really don't need to be charged to listen and care for others with love and compassion, because that's what you do. It is, as our chalice lighting said, being who you are called to be. But I have another charge for you, and I think this one's a little harder for you. It's in you, you can do it, but it doesn't come first. I charge you also to minister with fire. The flame that burns within needs to come out sometimes. Sometimes love needs a fire. Use your power. Use that passion. Use it out in the world. Don't be afraid of it, but show it. Share your vision. As Yasmin read the words of our prophet, William Barber, sometimes you need fire to shock with the power of love, the power of truth, the power of mercy. Love is durable. It's a durable power, and love is the power that lasts. And sometimes you need firmness and intensity with your love. That's part of the justice. Love is justice in action. So don't be afraid to use it. The world needs your love, your ability to listen with compassion, and it needs the power and intensity of your truth and your vision, that fire within. So I charge you in your ordained ministry to be your whole self, or as you said in your own sermon, to use the allness of yourself. And never forget to care and replenish yourself so that you can continue to thrive in your ministry and thrive in your life. Blessed be my sister, Reverend Cindy.
Cindy, it is such an honor and a delight to be part of your ordination today. And I can just see in your face the power of this moment, notwithstanding the fact that we are so far apart from each other. And so it is my pleasure and my great joy to welcome you on behalf of all of your colleagues, all of our colleagues, into the ordained Unitarian Universalist ministry. Our colleague, Galen Gingrich, Senior Minister of All Souls Church, has said that when we say welcome, we are not saying welcome to the club, we are saying welcome to the work. And it is sacred work. Let there be no doubt about that. And I want to affirm what Kathy has said about self-care. But I'm also, this is an and to her charge to you. And so we are saying welcome to the work. And while you are called to nurture spirits and help heal the world, to borrow a phrase, As a colleague in Unitarian Universalist ministry, you are also called to minister to the ministry itself. And by this, I don't mean merely to abide by our covenant and our guidelines. Those are the bar that we set, but you, I know, by your nature, far exceed that. From my experience of you, I know that you know what it takes to be a good colleague already, and that you take this responsibility seriously. But as the demands of ministry increase, I urge you to remember that collegial relations are an essential part of ministry and of your ministry. Regular attendance at Unitarian Universalist Ministers Association chapter and cluster meetings, serving in a chapter, regional or national capacity, mentoring students, which was a great joy in my case with you, mentoring students and candidates for the ministry, and actively supporting your colleagues in times of need are all important aspects of your ministry. If those whom you serve do not understand or appreciate this, it will be up to you to educate them. The simple fact is that while ministry may at times be a lonely vocation, we are never alone in our calling. And we, your colleagues, need you at least as much, and probably more, than you need us. This is what it means to be in ordained ministry and in fellowship. So Cindy, on behalf of all of our colleagues, I greet you and welcome you into our shared ministry. I wish you joy in the many rewards that it offers and pledge you support in the challenges. I invite you to find warmth in this virtual collegial embrace today and in the future. And I urge you to remember that your gifts are needed not just by those whom you serve, but by all of us as well. Welcome to the work.
We have affirmed our beloved, the Reverend Cindy Terlazzo, with words and gifts acknowledging her spiritual, intellectual, and professional readiness for the ministry to which she has been ordained. Along with the collegial welcome, there is another ritual that manifests the relational aspect of this ministry. Though ordination sets the clergy person apart in some ways, no ministry, lay or ordained, is complete in isolation. The people who hold us close and hold us accountable make it possible to serve in love, to speak the truth in love, and to bear the presence of love in the company of all of the thresholds of life. Though we're physically distanced in this moment as an act of community care, we are nonetheless connected across time and space. And today, this interdependent web tenderly holds the Reverend Cindy as she takes up the ordained part of her ministry. If we were together, we might move our bodies and gather around Reverend Cindy and hold up our hands in blessing to show that we have her back, to embody the community that serves alongside her, to represent all of those from the past and the future who impact and are impacted by her ministry. Instead, we will convey those blessings through the magic of Zoom, and we will ask John to share the blessing on our behalf. So first, I'm going to invite everyone who is gathered for this ordination to place a hand on your heart, just like Carl asked us to do earlier. Feel the beat. Notice your breathing. Notice how heart and lungs work with air and vapor to connect us to the rest of the world. We are in community, even when distant. The beating of our hearts connects us in love, in the experience of biological life, in measuring the minutes and days and years that we mark with worship and ritual. So let's notice that energy and remember our connections with Reverend Cindy and feel that sense of blessing for her ministry. Receive the memory and awareness and energy of your heart with one hand, and then your other hand is your blessing hand. And when I call the group that you're part of, Hold up your blessing hand to the screen. If you're fluent in Zoom, you can also use the reaction buttons to add more hands to the screen, like that. If your camera has been off and you're able to turn it on, this is a good time to do that. And if you don't know how to turn on the camera or use the Zoom reactions or handle the tech in some other way, don't worry about it. The love will come through no matter what. So I'm going to ask John to stand near Reverend Cindy, and he'll hold up a hand, or if you're both comfortable, lay hands on her shoulder. And John, your comforting presence will help communicate all of the love coming through the screen. Your support has mattered and does matter and will matter as Reverend Cindy lives out her calling. So next, I'm going to ask the rest of Cindy's family to raise their hands in blessing. And we also call on the ancestors who are here in spirit, bringing their ancient blessings through memory. Children, children in love, grandchildren, all of Cindy's family, we ask your blessing. And now, religious professional colleagues, I ask you to raise your hands in blessing. Unitarian Universalist ministers and religious educators and musicians and administrators, membership professionals and other beloved colleagues, interfaith colleagues, chaplains, seminarians, and all who dedicate their lives to service in faith. Let us bless Reverend Cindy. And now, members of the families of the two ordaining congregations, the UU Congregation of York and the UUs of the Cumberland Valley, please add your hands to the blessing. Hold up a hand to the camera or the screen with the other hand on your heart, and or use the magic of Zoom to send your love. Friends and loved ones from the broader community, Kirtan participants, musicians, seekers of justice, caregivers and community organizers, well-wishers and neighbors, please hold one hand on your heart and one hand up to the camera or the screen as you send your blessing for Reverend Cindy's ministry. And we're going to give Reverend Cindy a chance to scroll through the gallery on the screen as we hold up our hands so she can take in all of this love and blessing. My colleague, this is the community that supports and is supported by your ministry. These are the people who believe in you because they have already seen and felt your ministry at work. May you remember this moment of blessing and carry it with you. My friends, you can lower your hands. If you haven't already, I invite you to join your hearts now in prayer. Spirit of life and love, known by many names and yet fully known by none. In this moment of power and potential, we recognize our interdependence with each other and with the mystery of life. Through these connections, we bless and we ask a blessing on this minister, the Reverend Cindy Terlazzo, and on her path ahead. May we be guided by love and right relationship, and in our connections with Reverend Cindy, may we strengthen her to do the same. May Reverend Cindy's ministry continue to grow and to nurture growth, connecting yet more hearts in the service of love eternal. So be it. Blessed be. Amen.
My life flows on in endless song above Earth's lamentation. I hear the real, no far off hymn that hails a new creation.
No storm can shake my inmost calm, while to that rock I'm clinging, since love prevails in heaven and earth. How can I keep from singing?
Well, my heart sure is singing right now. I am blessed, and I know it many times over. I'm deeply humbled and honored to be ordained as a Unitarian Universalist minister. The path that has led to this day has only been made possible by the path itself, and the ways in which I have been held and supported, challenged, and loved by all of you. So it's no small truth to say that I could not have done this without you. I am forever grateful to each of you for the role that you have played in my life's formation, however large or small that role may seem. And I am especially grateful to my family, to my dear Rosa and Paolo and Annalise and John and Paolo and Carlene and Nevia, all of you, my sister Tammy. But I am particularly grateful to this man, my husband. He has taken on many of the daily tasks. He's fed me and washed the clothes, made sure that I showed up in a presentable fashion, sort of. But he's been the anchor that has kept me centered over these many, many years since I first stepped into these waters. I love you all, and I am so very glad that I get to walk my journey with you. Today, I have been charged with many things as I move into this next phase of my life, as I accept the gifts and the responsibilities that accompany the privilege of ordination. And I promise to do my very best to take this charge to heart. But I now have a charge for each and every one of us. I charge us all to savor our lives, to recognize the precious complexities facing us individually and collectively. We are indeed a part of a gloriously interdependent web. Now, we may have very different beliefs about what follows this life, but while we are still here, living the lives that we now have, we must remember that this experience matters. We must think and do the things that our heart calls us to do in our brief time here. I charge you now, I charge all of us now to live our lives in ways that recognizes and celebrates this interdependent web. I charge us all to take to heart the words of Jesus when he told those gathered around him that what they did to the least of the brethren was done also unto him. True liberation will not arrive until each and every one of us is free. In these trying times, let us seek out beauty as an act of resistance. Let us engage in wildly radical acts of compassion and kindness to defy that which seeks to oppress. Let us go forth and live our lives in ways so that a time will come when we can truly celebrate the end of all empire, the end of that which seeks to separate and divide. May it be so.
See if I can rein in my tears enough to do this. Albert Einstein said, "Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind." And there's this really beautiful inference in that statement that we will mature, that we will grow past this. So this song is called Dancing on the Ashes of Empires. And it's not literally about burning down empires. It's about living in such a way that the empires become completely irrelevant. Did you see them taking off their masks? Casting off the agonies of the past, looking into one another's eyes at last, and dancing on the ashes of empire. Can you see the face behind the face? Can you feel the sacred in this space? There are no enemies here, no one can desecrate this place.
Let us dance upon the ashes of empire. So many golden bodies circle in the fire. How long these souls have waited to be free. Behold these golden bodies circle in the fire and dancing on the ashes of empires. Dancing on the ashes of empires. Everybody's walking on the water tonight. Walking on the waves in the glowing moonlight. Coming out of the caves and playing on panpipes and dancing on the ashes of empires. So many golden bodies circle in the fires. How long these souls have waited to be free. Behold these golden bodies circle in the fires and dancing on the ashes of empires. Dancing on the ashes of empires. Soldiers now can rest their weary heads. No more to war on the battlefields red. But lo, their bones are rising up from the dead to dance upon the ashes of empires. Let no one be barred from the celebrations. All our kings and queens at this coronation. Love dissolves the boundaries of all nations, and it dances on the ashes of empires. So many golden bodies circle in the fires. How long these souls have waited to be free. Behold these golden bodies circle in the fires, dancing on the ashes of empires. Dancing on the ashes of empires.
So you now have a newly minted, ordained UU minister, and I am so grateful that you have all been a part of this. If we were gathering in physical form, we would be celebrating with food and conversation. We will Emily's gonna unmute everybody, and if you want to stick around, we'll try and figure out what it's like to do Zoom and chat. And if you're taking off, blessings on your day. Thank you so much for sharing this journey with me. I am so grateful. So Emily, it's up to you to unmute everybody, I guess.
So everyone now has the ability to unmute. I'm not going to automatically unmute everybody because that would be a little more joyful chaos than we need. But if you would like to unmute and say hello to Cindy, you should be able to do so.
Hi, Cindy.
Cindy, love
Hi,
you.
Cindy. It's Kelsey.
Congratulations.
Hi, Cindy.
That's pretty.
Hi, beautiful one.
Chalice.
Hi, Cindy.
Hello, Chris.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi there. I know.
Love and blessings, Cindy.
Long time. Hi, Kelsey.
Hi,
I
Cindy.
love you.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Megan.
We love you, Reverend Dama.
Hi.
Oh,
Congratulations,
Rev.
That one.
Congratulations, Cindy.
Thank you so much for a moving service, Cindy.
We leave the service now, everybody.
Congratulations, Cindy.
Thank you. Hey, Barry. Thank
Hey.
you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Cindy.
Love to both of you.
Hi, Nancy.
Please let us know where you wind up serving. We'd like to
Congratulations,
follow you.
Cindy. That was beautiful.
It
was a beautiful service.
Beautiful. Thank you.
We love you, Cindy.
I wish you the very best, Cindy.
Thank you. And the cheesecake was wonderful.
Oh, good.
I just wish I could give all of you a hug for sure. You're getting them virtually.
I'm grateful for you all sharing and best wishes.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Statler.
Michael.
Ah.
So good to see you, man.
What a classy background there.
You don't want to see the mess behind it.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations, Cindy.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Oh, boy.
John, thank you for supporting her.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous for me to even try to say how much of a pleasure.
Yeah.
There's nowhere else I'd rather be.
She feeds you, right?
Yeah.
What was that?
You just feed me.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really grateful for that.